Majesty. There we go. Good evening, folks, and here we are. I need to work on this because I'm a few little seconds out of sync with my thing because I didn't start the stopwatch. So we're going to cover quite a few things tonight, playing out some videos, talking about the latest news. We've got aircraft recognition, single aisle. I'm just about to start this thing up. Hold on a minute. It might just kick in. Hold on a minute. Because we just got to fire up the engine. I think it's around about 2 minutes, isn't it? So we've got a long time to talk. One of these days I'll get this timing right. Folks, check this out. We're just preparing for takeoff, by the way. Look at that. There's the van, ladies and gents. Come on, son. Come on, you can do it. Here we go. Okay, so I need to be ready for this because I'm a little bit out of sync. Okay, GP, go full screen. GP, go full screen. Ready for the bang. In your own time. Oh, bit of turbulence there. Oh, she's twisting. Oh, Steve was here. Level me out. Come on, son. Level it out. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, we're breaking through that atmosphere now. Here it comes. Okay, there we go. I don't know if it's worth doing that bit, Jilly, because I don't know if people... Is it funny or not? I don't know, but I don't know whether people like it or not. Okay, so folks, we are going to be going through a few things tonight, and we'll get on with it, but we're just to start things off, I hope you had a good week. I hope everybody's doing well. I still haven't sorted out my eyes so I don't have to wear my glasses and get all that silly glare on my glasses. But you know, it is what it is because I can't read everything. Maybe if I use old person's big giant text, Jilly, on my phone, but then I'd be scrolling forever, wouldn't I? Yes. Anyway, welcome to the studio. We have, as you can see, got the airport. Let's just run through the airport just quickly. Can you put sort of like big airport, little me, Jilly?
Yeah.
Okay, big airport, little me. No.
Got something around.
There we go. Lovely. So look at that, folks. And this is what was his name? I've got it on my email. Sam. Sam, thank you so much. We talked about 3D printing on a show way back when, and just take a look at that. Isn't that fantastic? He's created a 1/400th scale mini me, and even a figure on top of the van as well. It's just incredible. It has got the wheels and it's got the headlights, got the backlights. Just got to put maybe get some paint and try. I mean, that'd be just virtually impossible, wouldn't it? Painting that on there. See, the fire teams are now fully at home now, and just working on that 727. The Antonov is she's stayed here. She's been here for a couple of weeks now. The old Antonov. You know, maybe a technical issue there. I don't know, because they never like to keep that thing out of service, put it that way. National in today with their 747. Seen those at Anchorage, of course. See the little light on top of the control tower? Hey, how about that? So we've got the FedEx 777 is in maintenance. Not sure what's happening there. A couple of engines parked up. You see all the paraphernalia that I've got, folks. All the airport gear and the trucks and the loaders and the container trucks and all that kind of stuff. The lifts. The road in the background. See the road in the background is quite busy today. Coletta in with their 767 regular daily service. Interesting to see that lovely old Qantas A330 in there. Did hear that apparently the CEO of Emirates supported Qantas because they've had some real problems coming back from the pandemic, real big problems. So they've got some real financial issues, but they're doing a great job doing what they're doing. We always love to see the little Joey and the big Roo at Heathrow as well. Of course, Star Wars 777 in with ANA. Have they? Is that that's no longer that jet, isn't it? Of course, we've seen that at LAX, and it's actually on the title roll, isn't it? So lots more paraphernalia around the airport. It's just that, you know, when I was taxiing out the other day, I noticed it's just tons and tons of vehicles around the airport, hundreds and hundreds. And each one of those is controlled, you know, by ground systems. And every movement is like, got to cross taxiway, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But if they stay within their markers here and turn left down there, they don't have to say they're turning into that road and all that kind of thing. Concorde, look at that. We've got an Air France Concorde in today, which is a real treat. Haven't seen her here for a long time. That gate's empty. This is the Qatar Dreamliner that was repaired after an airport collision last week. You might remember, you would have seen her in the hangar. And look at this. Isn't this lovely? A welcome treat. Bel Air, which is obviously was their sort of like hotel arm of Swiss Air, you know, a bit like Condor with Lufthansa, that kind of thing. Anybody wants to come on the chat and tell me about what Bel Air did and all that, let's go with comments and the live ones. Good evening, everybody. I'll come to comments in a little bit as much as I can. Air Florida's DC-10 still doing the rounds, which is good, but they're fueling up that Bel Air, so she might be going out a little bit. We've got a few people being picked up at the Marriott, maybe some flight crews. And there we have the moved. See, that light's much better without that light on, isn't it? Does it work better without that big bright light? Hold on a minute. It's a much softer light, isn't it? I do this every week. What's that like? Should be a bit.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Is my green screen good? Yeah, we're all good. Amazing what green screen does, isn't it, folks? That's a big curtain behind me, a big green curtain, believe it or not. No, it's not. It's a spaceship. Sorry. But anyway, so Concorde. We've got a BA Concorde once again. Thank you to the folks at Aviation Retail Direct for supplying all of these models. And have to say, apart from the Air Florida and that TriStar there, which was, she sent us the models. Remember, one of our members sent.
Oh. Kristen
Steinbrand. There we go. If you're watching, hello, Kristen. So we have a little museum thing going on there. We might add stuff to it in the coming weeks because obviously we're going to try and do a show every Friday, folks. Obviously, when we're away, you can see in the foreground there's something that we're going to talk about in a short while. Finally, just being taxied. I'm not sure where to or what, but that beautiful old Delta 767-400. It's an ER, isn't it, with those big extended wingtips. Were you all good? But yeah, more paraphernalia, etc. Anyway, I thought I'd give you a little look around the old airport just to, you know, fill you in. Everybody liking it? It's a Hawaiian Airlines Lockheed L1011. There we go. Need some visiting military aircraft. Good point, that. And ARD do military aircraft. By the way, that 727 is of my own doing, folks. It's not something that ARD supply, a burnt out jet. It's pretty cool, though, isn't it? I'll put it on its side with a little bit of blue tack. Yeah, how busy does it look outside those hangar doors and stuff like that? It looks cool, doesn't it? Air Florida TriStar now. We're talking Jeremy Smith, a VTOL Joanna B. Yeah, well, we would probably get something like a Hercules in there, or maybe an AWACS or a KC-135, something like that. Actually, Paul showed me his new KC-135 today with an adjustable fuel. Not doesn't come out, but it just tilts. You know, the boom at the back of the KC-135 with the extendable boom, which I've been in and actually checked myself. So, streaming from the simulation, Jerry. Some great livery at Staines International today, Paul Skilling saying. That's pretty cool. Globemaster visited Manchester Airport yesterday. Martin Smith, P-51 Mustang, somebody saying there. Sir James Doink. Yeah, that would have to be on sort of like a diversion, wouldn't it? But mind you, American airfields, obscure American airfields get all sorts of stuff in there. But hey, listen, Sam Nordworthy, thank you, my friend, for how about that van then, folks? Somebody who's stepped right up to the plate and made that one. Jordan Charlie, I went to ARD today and tried to get a 1400 Concorde, but got informed you took the only two they had for tonight's show. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, Jordan, you can have that Air France one if you want. I'm sure you want a. Yeah, I actually got one from Corgi, believe it or not. There was a two set in there, and it's BOAC, which never was, there was never one, and the BA livery, of which we've got here. So, what was that? Oh, it's Charchie. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, it's a cat. Charchie, leave him. He's having a fight.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that was him flying up against the window. we bring the cat up into space with us. But anyway, yeah. So did you hear that?
Space cat.
Yes, space cat. But yeah, thank you, Sam Nordworthy. You are a star, sir, and I have no doubt that we will probably be doing some other stuff in the future. But I'm kind of liking all the busyness of what's going on here. In that national, they're going to be putting stuff in the belly of the jet. She's full up at the top. And this is just a sort of like not a tech stop, but just to put more freight on. But yeah, pretty cool. So I think we are good to get on with things, Jilly. This is where it all goes. Now, here's an interesting thing that's just come up, and it was from Russ CT. On current headlines, some of which Jerry may discuss, are global airlines finally taking ownership of their A380. Turns out it's an ex-China Southern 380, by the way. Do you want to put that picture up, Jerry? Okay, so we've got the first one is going to show not the China one. The first one, this is the jet that they were originally plugging. No, you can take the airport off. Take the airport. Okay. All right. So put that big. No. So Russ bringing it up just before the show, and this is sort of like 3 hours fresh or something like that. I think. Thank you. Simple Flying have got some words on it, and this is the only image that we had up to very recently. And as you can see, you able to zoom in on that tail, Jilly, at all, or just to have a little look? That was basically all it was in terms of. As you can see, it's an aircraft. I think that might be down in France. Is that down in France? Basically, a storage yard for not so much abandoned aircraft, but aircraft that these airlines just don't have any place for anymore, and they obviously don't want to scrap them. They want to see if they can flog them, and that is the one that was originally up for being used by the folks at Global Airlines. However, just recently, we've heard Global Airlines takes ownership of its first Airbus A380. This is from takes ownership. That's interesting. But it's a good sign. Don't get me wrong; it's a good sign. But obviously, things didn't go quite right with that one there. Unless that's it. Has taken ownership of first aircraft A380 with MSN 120 registered in Malta as 9HGLOBL. So they registered it and put a pretty cool personal plate on it. Undergoing tests and refurbishment to return it to flight-worthy status with successful tests so far. Yeah, I mean, literally a case of cleaning out the cobwebs. These engines are very heavily protected. And as you can see from all that tape around all the doors, all the openings, everything, all the joins, anywhere that potentially dust could accumulate and grime and all that kind of thing, all around the cowlings you can see there, engine intakes, the rear of the engines as well, and they do what they can for the undercarriage as well. But the one big thing when they get that thing firstly back into service is doing a ground check on it in terms of the wheels. They have to jack her up and do a swing check, which we're going to see on something else in a little bit, which is really interesting. But they literally put the aircraft up on stilts and then do a swing check to make sure everything's working there, because obviously it's a very important part of the aeroplane. But let's have a little look at this jet, the Air China? Was it Air China? Air China. China Southern. Beautiful aircraft. Look at this, folks. That's better. Isn't that just a beautiful shot? But what an absolute gem of an aeroplane. How can you really not love the A380? I know we're all passionate and we don't want to sound like we're leaving the 747 behind. We're not doing that. We'll still remain loyal to her until our dying days. But the 380, when seen like that, is an absolute thing of beauty, isn't it? So many people love that livery, Big Mac, love the China Southern, F. Broths Aviation. Everybody saying how cool that is, and there is no doubt about it. I just hope that, and can I say airplane pictures are linked to that one. And we've got a fella there, Alexander M. Ellingson, who took that picture. Sir, absolutely blinding image. Thank you so much. Let's hope that it looks better than what was the one previously, Julie. Let's just look at that and then go back to the... You can't go back to the other picture?
I've already taken it down.
Oh, okay. No worries. That's fine. Well, you kind of have an idea of how beautiful that looks, how well presented it is. Let's just hope that Global managed to bring something to the table. They're undergoing tests, flight-worthy state with successful tests. The future plans for the aircraft, including its next destination, are leaving the Mojave Air and Spaceport, are currently unknown. Okay, so it's at the Mojave Air and Spaceport. Interesting. So it was at Mojave. There's a big boneyard there, isn't it? There at Mojave. I'm sure that's on the way to Vegas, on the way to San Francisco if you're driving up from LA. Or am I wrong? But anyway, that's why they store them out in places like that, because it's nice and dry, of course. So let's hope. Okay, there we go. Let's hope it looks a lot better than that. Tail livery is a little bit sort of like, letter-headed notepaper for a company sort of thing that you'd expect on someone's business card. Other than that, let's just hope for something really glorious, and we can be proud of another British passenger airline. God knows where they're going to park, because I believe they were planning to go out of Gatwick. And, of course, Emirates are exclusively in there with their 380. I'm not sure. I wish them all the luck. And let's keep this momentum going. We'll maybe people during the week can find out what's happening with the aircraft in terms of, okay, Danny, my dad's been to the boneyard. He said it's amazing and yet sad also. It is. Shame BA can't locate some spare A380s or other stored planes. Well, you know what, in terms of, I don't want to drift off the subject here as well, of course, but obviously the main factor with BA is that I think they shot themselves in the foot when they retired their 747s. They could have held on to them, because there's going to be a big shortage of aircraft down to raw materials. global costs of materials and fabrics and specialist equipment and all that kind of thing. So, so it's a sad day. And we were looking back at one of our videos the other day, and it almost made us cry, man, because there were two 747s that went out very early days of Big Jet TV. And we played out some of that stuff during the lockdowns as well. So, which are kind of cool to look back on. But anyway, there we go. Global, we wish you all the best. I know the fella who's running it. He's well known, and he's got fingers in a lot of pies and stuff like that. So let's hope that his venture into the aviation world is a successful one. Next one, Julie, the Max update. Let's just talk about it quickly, because I know people, it's still in the news. It's constantly turning over with news here and news there, and people asking for Calhoun's resignation and all that kind of stuff. But of course, the latest in the saga is the Max 7, because of the anti-icing systems that they use, which are located inside the engine cowl, which basically heats up the leading edge cowl, the silver thing that you see there. But they're also using apparently a carbon fiber leading edge cowl tip now. I believe they're planning to do it or something like that, and that's what caused the problem with the explosion of the leading edge giving way. And Boeing have even said that that as a notification, a notice to pilots is you've got to switch it off after 5 minutes after flying through ice, and you don't need it anymore. Make sure you switch it off. Why they can't have an auto system, I don't know, or a little bit just to say, what's that? Oh, flipping it, the icing thing's on. A bit like your seatbelt, isn't it? When you get in the van, it's like, you've got 10 seconds to put your belt on, otherwise that's it. It goes off. Very easy fix in my eyes. But anyway, big problems for Boeing in terms of trying to get it self-certified and all those sorts of things, which they've done in the past. But they even say in their notification or their notice to the pilots is you've got to turn it off because it may result in failure of the front edge leading edge element that could fail and go up into a window potentially, or part into the fuselage. Pierce the skin. It could also hit parts of the empennage, etc., which they are saying, Boeing are saying. So big problems for them. And of course, the Max 10 is also massively held. We've got a picture of the Max 10 there, GP, haven't we? No, we haven't. That's for the Ryanair piece that we're just about to do. So there we go. The Max 7. Problems with that. They've got, of course, other issues with the 9 plug system and the 10. I don't know whether the 10 is related to that heating element or whether it's also related to the plug, because I think they've got plug door option on the Max 10 as well. Let's just have a little look at a few chat. You looking in on chat, GP?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thanks for all your updates, folks. Just trying to get through it this week rather than sort of keep you for too long, if you see what I mean. So yeah, that's something that's obviously going to play out over time, and I hope they get it certified, man. I mean, in terms of a fix, it would be maybe put some kind of a warning buzzer on there or something like that, or change the. They're looking at some kind of an engineering fix at the moment. So we'll just have to see how that all plays out, and good luck to them. I want to see we like seeing the Boeings, the 737s out when we're in the US, and we'll still see tons of them, and it's great to see the pre-Max as well. The 900s that we see at Miami. And Chicago, and we'll see at San Fran as well, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully it'll sort itself out, and they'll get themselves back up and running again. Right, next thing, Gilly, we've had quite an interesting one that I read actually on a plane the other day. Over 13,000 cases of laser strikes in 2023 on aircraft. This is something quite interesting. As you can see, this image here, which is literally, I believe, taken. That's real from what I'm seeing. But as you can appreciate, 13,000 cases. That's insane. First of all, what's the idiot doing at the? It literally, it's almost like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kids, isn't it? It's kids with their you know, what they can do, sort of thing. And it's they should outlaw lasers. I'm sure they have, haven't they? Haven't they outlawed lasers? But I'm just wondering, okay, and I don't know if there's any pilots in the house tonight, but you know, see where this guy's that you can clearly see the lasers coming from his left-hand side. Wouldn't it be beneficial to cost money, I know, but retrofit some kind of a blind system that they can pull down? Because obviously, if they're flying in that direction, the guy's not sort of like going to be able to go round over that side and do it unless he's in a helicopter. So he's going to be in that position as they fly past. It'll go down past his left-hand side. So all I'm saying is that could they not retrofit some? I know they've got blind systems, haven't they, for sun? So could they not do that on the windshield in some way and then fly by instruments? Because I can't imagine that it lasts for very long. I would have hoped not anyway. But anyway, it is criminal. Somebody mentioned it. It's criminal. How can they do that? Yeah, absolutely, Mel. It is crazy that an individual would do that and put people's lives at risk, man. All I can say is that thankfully there's a guy who's sitting there filming this, his co-pilot, and so hopefully he's all right to fly. But I have heard of issues with pilots' eyes where they've had to have surgery and stuff like that. So it's but 13,000 cases. I was absolutely shocked about that. Dealt with 2 of those on a helicopter over Aberdeen a couple of years ago. Caught and charged some teens, John Urquhart saying. That's cool. And I tell you what I will do tomorrow. I'm playing with my mate DeGino, and his son flies the helicopter. The what's it called? The helicopter that flies above us. The something CAS or the coppers that fly. Someone's going to say, let's just have a look, see if anyone says it. It's, but it's MPAS. There we go. MPAS. Why did you go over there then?
To cough, and he's still there.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Oh, right. Okay. Isn't there so MCAS. So I will ask Gino tomorrow morning. Hey, Gino, you must find these men and these little silly idiots. No, sorry. Gino, you must find these silly little idiots who are shining their lasers. Make a big thing of it. And maybe we could do some kind of an advertising campaign and show him breaking their legs. Or one of them waking up with a horse's head in his bed, something like that. That would be that would put them up to stop going out and do that, isn't it? But there we go. So really bad news for the aviation industry, and we're sorry. I don't know if this is the case overseas. I don't know. America. What does it happen in America? Or this is just in the UK alone, I believe, as far as I'm aware. Lloyd Bell, BBC, put out an article earlier this week. Police say a laser was pointed at Loganair, easy for you to say, ATR landing at Inverness last Thursday morning. That's just terrible, isn't it? I wonder if that's the image. I've got something. Oh, it was on X. From Pete Muntean, dangerous cases of people shining blinding lasers into cockpits of aeroplanes and helicopters just reached a record high. Absolutely terrible, man. There needs to be some serious, it's a criminal act, but it's jail time. It's got to be jail time, hasn't it? What are they getting? A slap on the wrist? Sorry, man. Sometimes you hear it on the radio or you see it on TV and it's like, let off with a warning. Let off with a warning. Yeah, right. Okay. Anyway, but at least if they find someone who they know who's doing it or either suspected of doing it, at least they can keep an eye on his house. But yeah, not good, man. Not good. I'm not very happy about that. And maybe we could do something with NPAS or the police about doing something with that. So here we go. So next thing that we're going to look at Now, this is a tweet that I saw from James Shepherd. He's a good friend of ours, works with British Airways, flying the 787, I believe. And he was talking, he just said, wow, this is amazing. But the next generation UltraFan Trent engine that we talked about, compared to the Trent 700, for example, massively behind on, am I all right on thing? Is 25% more efficient than the UltraFan is 25% more efficient than the 700, the Trent 700, which we see on the A330s primarily, but 10%, still 10% more efficient. Have we got any pictures here, Gilly, or?
I was just going to ask if you wanted me to.
Yeah, the Trent engine. Yeah. Let's see my ugly mug. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Isn't that a beautiful thing, folks? That will be the biggest engine in the world when it actually gets going. I'd love to have seen that picture. Is that on the Rolls-Royce test bed? I think it is, I think there's a picture of that. Can you see if you can find that, Gilly? Rolls-Royce test bed with UltraFan, with UltraFan, because this is obviously replacing the Trent family. But how big is that, folks? The current XWBs that we see on the A350s, this UltraFan will be 10% more efficient than that one, and 25% more efficient than the A330. Is there another one a little bit pulled out so you can sort of like see the other Diddle engines? There, that one. Yeah, there we go. Watch this, folks. I didn't know it had flown, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit miffed by that. I thought that I knew that they test bedded it, but I didn't know that they had actually put it on an aeroplane and flown it. Or is that an artist's impression? Engine Zero, pure art, Avro saying, yeah, let's run it back to those pictures of the engines again, Gilly, if you can. Pure art, Avro, Gulper, Diesel 1.3. It would be good if planes had mirrors that could reflect the laser back. Oh, yeah, to the idiots using them. Are they brand new? Aviation in 4K. These are engines. I think this is the engine that was brought up to full capacity in terms of its power settings inside control conditions like that. I didn't know if it was on a jet at this stage. Can the Ultras be retrofitted to a jumbo with 2 engines? Probably could, Jonathan. But I tell you what, in all seriousness, that engine is potentially going to be used as a replacement engine, believe it or not, for the current XWBs on the A350, along with other options, and possibly. I don't know if Boeing are going to be doing anything with Rolls-Royce, but because they're primarily, really sort of like heavily into GE, aren't they, with the 90 and the 115? But GE's 9X engine is going to be something of beauty as well. And but this thing is going to be possibly another option like they do at the moment with the Trent 800s and the GEs and the Pratt & Whitneys on the 777s. What's the engine name? Aviation in 4K. It's called the UltraFan. 85,000 pounds of thrust. Chemical tanker driver saying Alps engine, Joanna B. It is an absolute thing. I believe that is the finished colour of the blades as well. And of course, this is the first time that Rolls-Royce have dabbled in the carbon fibre fan blade family, because all their other stuff is titanium, as we've discussed before. But those things are a thing of beauty, the kind of thing that you would quite easily have sitting in your front room, and you'd be able to carry it in very easily because they're very, very light indeed. So we're going to play a little video out, which is from Rolls-Royce about the engine. And what's interesting about this also, folks, is that the gearbox, as opposed to being attached around the outside of the engine like they normally do with conventional aircraft, the gearbox is actually inside the whole casing of the core of the engine. Have you got that one ready, GP? Yeah. Okay. So do you have to put me back up there, or can you just put it straight out onto that?
I can put it straight out.
Yeah. Can you do that with all of them?
But they won't hear you talking, yeah?
No. I'm still going to be on air.
Oh,
You can just switch that out for the video. Are you able to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Space drink, the final frontier. Oh.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were just going to leave me small all the time. I don't like me being big and in everyone's face like that.
I have to do that one.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Okay.
Just trim it out a little bit.
Take the best that exists and make it better. This is a quote from Henry Royce, and it really embodies our work on the UltraFan technology demonstrator program. This is because we already make the world's most efficient large aero engine in service, the Trent XWB, which powers the Airbus A350 and is 15% more efficient than the original Trent 700. But through our UltraFan program, we will be able to deliver another 10% efficiency on top of that. That's a 25% efficiency improvement on the first generation of our Trent engines. This supports the key pillar of the Rolls-Royce sustainability strategy, continuing to improve gas turbine efficiency. Efficient gas turbines will continue to be required for the foreseeable future, as they remain the only effective way to transport people over long distances. According to industry roadmaps, gas turbines combined with sustainable aviation fuels will make up to 80% of aviation's 2050 net zero solution. UltraFan is our next generation of engine architecture and suite of technologies that we ran for the first time earlier this year. The tests were run on 100% sustainable aviation fuel on testbed 80 in Derby. This is the world's largest and smartest indoor testbed, which can capture 200,000 data samples a second and record 1 terabyte of data every hour. And did you know that the UltraFan demonstrator is the world's largest aero engine with a fan diameter of 140 inches? To give you some context, a London tube train could run through the diameter of the engine's fan case. It also incorporates the most powerful gearbox in aerospace, which is only around 1 cubic meter in size, but can transmit more than 50 megawatts, which is enough to power 500 family cars. In fact, the power gearbox has already delivered 64 megawatts on test, an aerospace power record. UltraFan is distinctive and positions us to play competitively in both the narrow body and wide body segments. This provides us with a potential entry point back into the narrow body market. The UltraFan programme, launched in 2014, we've received around £470 million in funding through the UK government via the Aerospace Technology Institute, Innovate UK, and the EU's Clean Skies programmes, plus Germany's LUFO programme and the state of Brandenburg. The technologies we have developed through the UltraFan programme will provide us with solutions for today and tomorrow by offering new ways to improve our existing engines, further enhancing their performance and efficiency. We have already identified 4 technologies that we believe could potentially be transferable. Number 1, cast bond. 2, ceramic matrix composites. Number 3, next generation disc alloys. And 4, advanced combustor geometry. We already have extensive experience of rolling back new technologies into existing engines to continually improve their performance. The Trent 700 EP and the Trent 1000 TEN are the best examples of our most significant technology improvement programs. Another more recent example is the Trent 7000 Durability Enhancement Package, which has helped double the engine's time on wing performance. When we finish testing UltraFan,
Wow.
we will be in an excellent position to address future aircraft programs. We are anticipating a requirement for a new engine based on the UltraFan technologies in the 2030s, and we have always said this date is dependent on aircraft manufacturers' needs and market demand. UltraFan technology is important because it is going to help improve the engines of today as well as the engines of tomorrow.
There you go, GP. Don't put me full screen. Oh. Okay, there we go. Wow. Some seriously impressive numbers there, I have to say. Congratulations, Rolls-Royce, man. That is crazy, those numbers in terms of the efficiency, and also the fact that they're rolling out technology already into existing engines that's giving them even more performance. Good stuff, Rolls-Royce. Hey, I wonder if that Dreamliner at Heathrow, the Virgin Dreamliner, is going to be possibly fitted with. I'd imagine they would do, because both of those engines are off. I can't understand why could understand taking two engines off, and obviously engines go through a cycle where they need to be heavily serviced, like an aircraft that needs A, B, C, and D checks. Engines also need to have stuff like that done. So, excuse me, it's quite interesting, isn't it, that those engines will come back possibly heavily modified in terms of internal components and materials, all that kind of crazy stuff. So interesting to see what's going to happen there. Apparently my jacket's making a lot of noise still, is it?
You can't hear yourself.
Okay, if I move very carefully. Okay, so there we go, and that is thank you, Rolls-Royce, and thank you everybody for watching. I was looking at the comments, folks. I'm looking at your comments, and a lot of people are very impressed with that. So we shall see what happens. I think that 747 image, although it's amazing on the test bed, I don't think it's run yet. There was another name on the side of it, wasn't there? Is that part that I'm not sure? John M. Become more efficient, longer range and quieter than airplane manufacturing industry. I don't know any other industry that has done more to become more efficient, longer range and quieter than the airplane manufacturing industry. Yeah, gotta be honest. That's a great comment there, John, because it is truth that there is no other industry. I mean, the car industries, they're trying their best, but they're really sort of like they're more about numbers, aren't they? So in terms of the aviation industry, and especially really the engine manufacturers, that part of the industry are doing so much, and the airlines working with the engine manufacturers and the airports putting more stringent regulations on aircraft. A lot of 747s, old 747s, are going to be banned from a lot of airports in the coming years, folks. So you know, we got, and that includes 747, potentially 747-400s. The Dash 8s will still continue to fly for a long, long time. And don't forget, that is only specific airports. I think places like, Leipzig, Liège, where we're going on Tuesday. I've got to tell you about that in a minute. But of course, up in Anchorage and places like that, you know, heavy cargo, that industry will continue. But a lot of airports, you know, like the Schiphols and your Frankfurts and possibly even Heathrow, potentially in the future, are going to be banning these aircraft with their old type technology in their engines. So there you go. Congratulations to Rolls-Royce. Okay, don't put me up yet. So now, you got this one ready, Jilly? Can you swap that one out with the Air Belgium? You know, we were talking last week about Air Belgium were desperate and sort of like on their knees in financial difficulty and so on and so forth. And not only that, but also retiring. Well, you can take the airport one off when I'm if you want, or you can leave that one on actually if you like. Yeah, you can leave that one on. Yeah, you can leave that one on. There we go. Sorry. Yeah. So there we go. Interesting that aviationjobs.me have put out a notice. Air Belgium looking for A330 pilots, and this was on LinkedIn. Let's just have a little look. Was it on LinkedIn? I think it was. Yeah. But anyway, very interesting. Is that link going to work? Yeah, Air Belgium is a fresh-thinking Belgium airline operating quality intercontinental flights at attractive fares to and from Belgium. Blah blah blah. Oh, okay. Required skills: language, English, EASA, all that kind of stuff. 1,000 hours on the A320, 330, 340, 350, and 380. Blimey, not asking much then. 1,500 hours on aircraft with maximum takeoff weight of 44 tons. Have all required blah 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 and all this ICAO. Unrestricted flight to live and work in the EU. So good work if you can get it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you're a single pilot, if you're single, you're on your own, and you've got no ties where you live, and you've got the ability to go and live overseas for maybe a couple of years. You don't have to go there for the rest of your life, do you? You can go to do a couple of, it'd be just interesting, wouldn't it? Meet new people. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting after last week seeing the fact that they were retiring one of their A339s and whether or not they're going to do any more. Are they only testing the new engine on the 47F Brothers Aviation? They will test it on the 747 test bed. That's what they will do. The Green DC-10 fire training plane is being replaced. Oh, the Green DC-10 fire training plane has gone. It's being replaced. Oh, you know what it's going to get replaced by? It's going to get replaced by a thing like that tube, innit? They don't look like planes at all, which is a bit of a shame. Well, some of them do, but some of the American ones we see are horrendous. There's one at Charles de Gaulle as well. It's just a black tube with a bit of a tail plane. You can knock it up in half an hour if you're a steel guy. That's a shame. That's a shame. Wow, where's that gone then? It's just scrapped, innit? They just scrapped it. Why didn't they cover that? Why didn't they do something with that? You bring a picture up of that, Jilly, so we can show people what we're talking about. No. Heathrow Green Goddess or something like that, isn't it? Pictures, images. 747 or something like that. Yeah, there it is. Any one of those. One that it's sort of like it's not. It's a 747 front end and a DC-10 back end, but obviously all completely made of steel, not made of aluminium. We used to see them film training there, but apparently they're closing it down altogether. I don't know if it's being replaced by anything. Whether they're going to still continue to use that as a fire testing area, or whether they're going to move it somewhere else on the airfield, because obviously then the folks have got United and Virgin. It's between them, isn't it? Is it? No. It's right next to Virgin, is it? Yeah, there we go. It's right next to Virgin. So Virgin may be wanting to expand, and have said that they're thinking of, it's a shame, innit? Get a lot of people say, "What's that one waiting to go out?" Don't we? It's a possible condition, read the 380, that none have reached yet, and a small number of them were slightly misaligned. Okay, let's see, what was that? So there we go, folks. That's the one at Heathrow, the fire training platform that they used to use. They used to use Jet A1 on it as well. The modern ones have got gas which comes up, and they control it through valves and all that kind of stuff, so they can pinpoint the fire anywhere they want. But these guys were hardcore and used I don't know if they've switched it to gas recently or what, but every time I've seen them, it's all black smoke going everywhere. It's brilliant. Put it in your front garden. So there we go. She's gone, and somebody's saying that they're replacing it. I think it was Paul, wasn't it? Looks like a German V1 boot all lay. Okay, so there we go. Next one, folks, just to talk about Ryanair. interesting, two pieces to this, which is quite interesting. They've seen a 93% drop due to rising fuel costs. Profit drop, that is 93%. Fuel costs rose 35% during the quarter to 1.2 billion, while overall operational expenses were up by 26%, eating into Ryanair's 2.77 billion revenue. But literally, in the next breath, what's his name? The fella who runs it, the Irish fella. Someone's going to say it, aren't they? I'm waiting. O'Leary, there we go. Philip Lowry, thanks, Philip. O'Leary, he's gone and said to Boeing, "Listen, whatever you want to do, don't worry about it. We'll if you get cancelled orders, we'll have them all. Whatever you've got, we'll have it that's cancelled." And they are looking. He's saying that they're willing to take cancelled Max 10 orders. The airline currently has 150 Max 10s on order. Got that picture of the Max 10 there, GP. I think this is an artist's rendition of the Ryanair Max 10. 150 of them, and it's open to early deliveries if that carries if other carriers step back. Well, you're not going to be getting them, mate, until they've certified them back into service. They've noted in. This is interesting what O'Leary says. It's a little bit of a sort of like, Ryanair has noted improvement in. He's saying this. This is him saying it. Just in case, just to counter any questions that somebody might say. Well, mate, aren't you a little bit worried about the current situation with the plug door? Sorry about the dodgy picture there, folks, but I think that's an artist's rendition of a Max 10. And of course, that is what they're hoping to compete against with the A321. But we did hear also that reports that United CEO made a trip to Toulouse to speak to Airbus about 321s, possibly, I don't know. But Ryanair is saying they have noted improvements in Boeing's quality control efforts and does not expect the recent groundings to affect its Max 8 fleet or Max 10 certification. That coming from either O'Leary or I'd imagine it's O'Leary because anyone else saying, well, it's a good thing, isn't it? It's propaganda in it, so it could be anyone from their media team. Okay, GP, is one about the folks at Condor. Now, it's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people, whenever we see these things, are they either love them or hate them. They think that it's something to do. Now, that is a 757. Now, let me show you quickly, folks. I'm going to show you quickly. We've got this model. Stand by. Squeaky jacket. Okay. Turn his undercarriage so he's cranked that way. Okay. How good is this? Okay, I'm just going to show you this, folks. Hold on a minute. Let me just throw that one in there. Is that possible? Oh, can you make the airport into the big one, but keep the other one in the little one? That's what I tried to do.
Okay, just a second.
Space drink. Airport big. You can do it, Jilly. You can do it. You have to take me off.
Pressure. Oh, shit.
Oh, shh.
What if I take you off? They're not going to hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then take that one off. Take the 757 off then. There we go. And then make this one the big one. No, the other way around.
I have to do
There
that.
we go, yeah. Okay, there we go. I don't think that does it a lot of credit, to be honest with you. But hey, folks, look at this. Just want to show you this. They're quite expensive, I've got to say. If you're buying a model, and then you want to put a little bit of airport on it, of it being towed or whatever, check out that Julie, can you reach over? There's a torch that's standing up, sticking onto the thing, please. It's a magnet. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's a little bit, but look at that. Look how cool that. I'm just doing a walk around. Look how cool. There's RB211s as well, I think, on that jet. This is quite interesting that Condor have. What about that tug though? How cool is that tug? They're not cheap, but if you're going to buy one model and a bit of airport stuff, furniture, then maybe do that. Put that down as an option. But there we go. That's what we're talking about, really, here, folks. Is the livery itself. We talked about Air India's last week, and this week we'll talk about just not in a long way, but briefly about the different colour combinations and the aircraft. The 757s, they've still got quite a few of them, actually. Let's just have a look here. According to CAVA, Condor's present fleet consists of 49 aircraft with an overall average age of 17 years. And that's on the twin jet sides. 757-300 narrow body model, 9 examples at the moment, 24.3 years old. 7 active, 2 undergoing maintenance, and they have historically flown other ones as well. You're right, Julie? Do you want to? So we've got another picture, but they have also got 767s. They've got these beautiful. You've got that 757 back there, Julie. But anyway, there's your model, folks. I like the way they've still got that Condor livery on just that there on the back there. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I like the way they've done it. It looks a bit odd and lost, but it kind of like works, just that it's there. Do you know what I mean? And then we've got another picture which we're going to show you, which they're very proud of at the moment, and that's their A339s, which we've seen quite a few of. And every time we go to Toulouse, we seem to see one as well. And it always causes controversy, you know, it really is down to the individual. Some colours work better on some aircraft than others. Certainly seems that at the moment, because I'm sure we've seen a gold 339 at Toulouse. At Frankfurt. But there you go, the A339. They're very proud of it. They love it. And, of course, that is their most modern aircraft up to date. I think it's 12 examples presently listed as being active. The unlucky 13th aircraft 339 that they had was damaged when it was hit by a vehicle at Frankfurt Airport. So there we go. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Someone's getting fired in the morning. But anyway, there you go. 339, the Condor fleet. See what people say. Anyone got a mint flying pacer? Looks like a pack of polos. Looks like 2. Yeah, those ones. It is literally. I'd love to hear what Germans think of it. You know what I mean? We've all got our own sort of like things about it, but like humbug of the red ones, a kind of humbug look about it. Of all of them, I think the red one is my preference. You know, there's the orange, there's the gold, there's the green, there's the blue, etc. Red and purple and pink and blue, orange and purple and brown. Was there a brown? But there we go. So good stuff for Condor. And that was just a little bit of an update on their fleet, really. Here's another one which is quite interesting that we talked about before. We kind of touched on it last week in terms of freighter aircraft. Of course, we went through the Beluga and the Dreamlifter, which are the specific aircraft used to transport Boeing and Airbus, respectively, parts. But this is what we were talking about last week in terms of offering these Airbus not the XLR, not the XLs, but the previous Airbus transport aircraft, because rather than scrap them, they've obviously put them to work and created their own air freight services, Beluga air freight services, and this is from Air Cargo News. Interesting, I have to say, again, as you can see there from that image, that the structure, if you remember, shows that we've done with the Antonov, where they create this, they build this whole tracking system. The crew themselves build the whole tracking system, and that takes, you know, literally a couple of hours depending on the equipment that they're putting on there. But we're talking about heavy lift stuff here. We're not talking about an aircraft being used for general freight, you know, perishables and stuff like that. We're talking about heavy lift equipment. But the big logistical issue, as you can see there, is the structure that they have to assemble before getting it in there. It may be that those structures are something that Airbus can supply to individual airports, because I can see it's on a wheelie system, and so potentially that outer structure, which is obviously the inspection tower, and then they either slide that rail system that might be attached to the inside of the aircraft. I don't know, but it obviously needs to be supported by the piece that's on the right, which carries the aircraft or the piece of freight to the aircraft. Got another picture here, Julie. There's another picture, isn't there, of the okay? Can you take that tail and put the other one in there? The other Airbus, the Beluga picture that we just had up there. Can you put that in the airport one or not? Oh, you can't, can you? No? You can't put another picture in there, no? Okay. But there you go, folks. There you go. As you can see, again, another load system, which is using, I have to say, a conventional 747 K-lift, X-lift, whatever you want to call it. But that system is not specifically unique to Airbus, as far as I'm aware. It may be, because I know that Beluga has transported a lot of helicopters, and also bear in mind that is possibly, I don't know, that might be an Airbus helicopter, I'd imagine. So that may be an Airbus specific loading platform. Certainly looks like it based on the but we all know that, because I'm just looking at how high that could potentially go. Could that reach a 747? By the looks of the amount of leverage it's still got left, it might well lift it up further, I don't know, into a 747. But that looks very specific, that piece. So that's Airbus's loader, is it not? Aerocentric saying, yeah, looking more I look at it, I think that possibly will be at one of their manufacturing FAL lines, which manufacture the helicopters or something like that. I don't know, but it definitely does look like a retro piece of equipment, doesn't it? So again, like I say, offering the Beluga for airport work, for freight, for oversized freight around airports around the world. Let's just say, for example, they got a job in Memphis. In Houston, where we went with the AM124. They haven't got this equipment there. Would they carry it with them inside the Beluga and then crane it out, possibly, if they've got an extendable track? Obviously, the track needs to be heavily bolted in the back, because otherwise it'll be quite front heavy. But it can overhang right the way, I'd imagine, sort of like 5 or 6 feet forward of the undercarriage enough. So you might be able to bolt something onto the front end of that. I'm not sure, but I'd be intrigued to know how they do that. So that's with those guys at Beluga. We got that one. Yeah, here's an interesting one, which somebody, I don't know if it was somebody mentioned about the. Let me just come out of that for a second, because when we can sort of like drop that picture now. We've done that. Right. Okay. So A320 wing cracks, or fractures, or hairline cracks that we're led to believe are happening on retrofitted and also factory fitted fins. Yeah, it's the shark fin, isn't it? Type retrofitting either from the old fence style winglet that you see here to the fin that we see there. Apparently, some stress points have been pointed out, and it appears that there are some stress cracks potentially around what they call the manhole inspection panels, which, if we bring this picture up of the one from the sharklet, isn't it? It's called the sharklet, sorry. Blimey. You can see this picture here, which is quite interesting. Someone circled some what appear to be some panels, but I don't think that's anything to do with them. You look at the manhole. This is on one of Vistara's jets, and I think this is a sharklet. How were the cracks discovered on a regular service? Martin Smith asking. It seems that way. They obviously have to inspect them during, possibly, I'd imagine that would be even a B check, maybe even an A check, that they might take those panels off. But I think the A check is very, very basic, but certainly one of the checks. And of course, once they've found one, they have to inspect all of them. And obviously it's at one of those stress points. You remember the old the stress crack from the Comet that happened? That's potentially what the sort of like at a point, and that's why they're circular, obviously, because it's continuous, isn't it? So somewhere around there, where the wing, at the point where the wing flexes at its most, maybe there's one of the ports, those inspection ports are underneath that flex point, and it's at that join somewhere in there, whether it's a structure, wing structure, or whether it's the skin, I'm not sure. But they're obviously carrying out those inspections, and very, very quickly. It sounds to me like it's a very quick check with a hydraulic lift. Take the panel off, take all the bolts out, and inspect it closely with a torch, or whether or not it's so hairline that, I don't know. There are tests that you can do where you have little probes, and you can check microscopically to see. I'm not sure how severe the cracks are. It doesn't seem to be anything that's sort of like, halting flights and grounding this and doing all of that. So I think we're all right, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update, and thank you to whoever it was. Parastorm. We saw an A380 some months back land at Heathrow with a missing winglet. Did we find out what happened? Yeah, Parastorm. That was apparently we called it Arthur, didn't we? The A380 with Arthur wingtip. The top section, the top panel of the wingtip was missing. Apparently caused quite a lot of drag, or reduced the efficiency of the aircraft quite a lot, actually, which is quite interesting, isn't it? But I believe if you look on the outer surface of the wings and the sharklets, or the wing plates, whatever type that it might be, whether it's a raked wingtip or whatever, they have static wicks, which are just literally like an aerial. They look like an aerial, and those wicks will any electrical charge will go through those wicks, and they will blow off. And potentially, we believe that that's what happened. I don't think it was a collision, because you'd have to have something very high up to collide with it. The only thing that would be getting up somewhere like that would be a de-icing rig or something like that. But anyway, he's back in the land of living now with a full wingtip, a full complement of wingtips on him. So yes, thank you for that. Okay, going to play a video out now, folks. Last week we saw how the engine started, but what I really wanted to play you was how the APU, which is literally when you see an aircraft land, one of the first things that the pilots will do will be start to configure the aircraft for the ground. So they'll raise the flaps, they'll bring the spoilers in, and get the aircraft ready. And part of that procedure is to fire up the auxiliary power unit, which is at the back. Right at the back of all these aircraft that you see. It's literally a small jet engine which is used to power up the aircraft, which is why when you see them at gate, you see that plume of heat coming out the back of the aircraft. Obviously, they shut them down if they're going to be there for any particular length of time or when they get parked on remote stands. But this is where you see the plume of smoke, and this is what is used to start the engines, even the electrical systems to power the electrical engines on the electric start system on the Dreamliner engines. So let's play this out. This is quite interesting. And am I going to keep my mouth shut here or just sit back and watch?
Sit back and watch.
Yeah. Watch this, folks. This is pretty cool.
Welcome to the Boeing 777 Auxiliary Power Unit series. The APU is a small gas turbine engine in the aircraft's tail cone. The auxiliary engine supplies electric and pneumatic power to operate the aircraft independently on the ground, start the main engine, and provide backup power during flight emergencies. In this extensive series, we will understand the...
Just want to say quickly, folks, this is at 1.25 speed, isn't it? Yeah, we're playing this at 1.25 speed, folks, just to make sure, just so we can get it through a little bit quicker. So listen intently. It's very interesting, but he does talk quite quickly. Play.
Functioning of the APU engine and its critical role in successful aircraft operations. Let's begin by starting the APU. With no engines running and no external power connected, the only available power sources are the two aircraft batteries. The main battery supplies DC power to the electrical load management system. Selecting the main battery switch closes the contactors inside the panel and energizes the DC battery bus. Now we can select the APU switch. The load management system activates multiple components when the switch is moved to the on position. A signal is sent to the APU fuel pump to run, and the APU fuel feed valve is commanded to open.
Out of the left wing tank.
The APU controller is powered on, and the APU air inlet door is operated. The air inlet system has an electric actuator that moves the door to the open position.
There you go. We've seen that.
The APU controller controls and monitors the start procedure. When the start signal is given through the APU switch, the controller selects the available crank option. Since the aircraft's pneumatic power is unavailable, the controller will switch to an electric start. The APU electric start system has a dedicated battery. The battery is connected to the APU power distribution panel. The controller closes the contactors inside the panel and operates the electric starter.
Here we go.
The electric starter is a DC motor installed on the front side of the APU. The battery power operates the starter, which is connected to a ratchet wheel. The ratchet drives a pull clutch mechanism. The clutch transmits the torque to the drive gear. The driver turns the accessory gearbox. Connected to the gearbox is the engine shaft. Mounted on the shaft are the two-stage centrifugal compressors. The compressor's rotation creates suction and draws air through the inlet duct. A single-stage compressor consists of an impeller and a diffuser. The impeller accelerates the airflow radially. The diffuser increases the pressure and directs the airflow into the next stage. The airflow enters the second-stage compressor, which further increases the pressure. The compressed airflow then heads for combustion. The APU feed line supplies fuel from the wing tank to the fuel cluster on the accessory gearbox. The fuel cluster comprises a mechanical pump, valves, filter, and distribution manifold. When the engine reaches 7% RPM, the controller commands the fuel shutoff valve to open.
Here we go.
The fuel travels through the primary manifold and into the 14 fuel nozzles across the combustion chamber. As the fuel nozzles atomize and inject the fuel into the combustor, compressed airflow enters through the swirlers. The swirlers twist the airflow, which results in a thorough fuel-air mixture and ensures efficient combustion.
Cool.
At 7% engine RPM, the controller also activates the ignition system. It sends 28-volt DC power to the ignition unit. The unit converts the power into high-voltage pulses and transfers it through the ignition lead to the two igniter plugs. The high-voltage pulse generates a spark in the igniter plugs.
Cool.
The spark ignites the fuel-air mixture and sets off the combustion. The APU engine
Yeah.
has a reverse flow annular combustion chamber. The peak temperature
I knew
inside the
that.
section can reach 2000 degrees Celsius. Therefore, a significant portion of the compressor's airflow is used to cool the combustor. The combustion chamber is intricately designed with holes throughout the casing that allow airflow injection. The additional flow protects the combustor liner, improves combustion efficiency, stabilizes the flame, and reduces the temperature of the gas before it hits the turbine blades. The combustion gas then flows into the turbine section. The engine has a 3-stage axial flow turbine. A single stage consists of a stator and a rotor. The stator directs the flow towards the rotor blades. The rotor harnesses the kinetic energy of the combustion gas and drives up the engine speed. The flow then passes through the exhaust duct and exits the aircraft from the left side of the tail cone.
There you go. There it is, the old wedge.
Combustion inside the chamber, once ignited, is self-sustaining. To prevent flameout and uncontrolled shutdown during the start process, the ignition system remains active until the engine reaches half its rated speed. The controller then switches off the ignition unit. At 50% RPM, the controller opens the contactors in the power panel and breaks the supply to the electric starter. As the motor rotation stops, the pawl clutch disengages from the ratchet, and the starter is isolated from the gearbox rotation. The fuel pressure in the pump increases with the increase in engine speed. Around 50% RPM, the pressure causes an internal flow divider valve to open. Additional fuel travels through the secondary fuel manifold, and the fuel flow into the combustion chamber increases. The engine accelerates to reach the rated speed.
Wow.
When the engine is close to 100% RPM, the APU's electric and pneumatic power are available for selection. In the next part of the series, we will operate the aircraft systems and start the main engines using the APU power. Thanks for watching.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Thank you. We'll be doing more stuff with those guys at How Plays Work or something, isn't it? What was it? What was the name of the channel again? What was the name of the channel? Somebody mentioning there. It was Nick.
Aircraft Science.
Aircraft Science. That was it. Nick Fazy. I've been covering this and a lot more for my training for Part 66 B1B license and be getting hands on when I start at BA in the summer. Can't wait. Wow, that's brilliant, Nick. Especially understanding it all. And for folks who don't know about that, it's literally at the back of the aircraft. And sometimes when you're on the aircraft, you might get on the aircraft and they start the APU while you're on the aircraft. Very rare that happens these days, but it is a proper wind-up noise. Sounds like a jet engine starting. Whilst on a 767 flight home from holiday, Steve A saying, crew could not start one engine. A company engineer on board with his family was approved to solve the issue. We left just slightly delayed, thank God. 767 crew could not start one engine. Oh, blimey. Wow. That could have been a whole host of different things, but possibly feed related in some way, either air or for the starter or something like that, or fuel. But fair play if he's troubleshot it. I mean, big round of applause for that one, eh? I'd love to have been on that plane when that guy came back on. Closest I've been to that was a 757 going out of Gatwick, and they had to do a wheel change just before we left. Okay, GP, we can close that one off now. Thank you, Steve. So thank you to Aircraft Science Channel. We'll do some more stuff with them. That's the APU. We've seen the engine start. Just a quick one about another little bit of news, which is quite nice because I like to use stuff that the images look good at. Hearing that Swiss Air's not hearing really. This is sort of like old news about Swiss Air ordering the A350s next year. They're expecting the first of 5 A350-900s, which will gradually go to replace their A340-300 fleet. Picked the wrong one there, Gilly, earlier on, didn't I then? I said the A330, but yeah, going to be replacing the A340-300. So as one of those comes on, out goes an A340-300. We've seen a lot of them, obviously, when we were in Zurich, and that's a 30, one at 40. A340 300.
You wanted an A340.
Yeah, I got it wrong, so my
Oh.
apologies for that. That's all right. It's okay. It's okay. But isn't she beautiful, folks? The Swiss jet looks like a little mini 220, doesn't it? They all look fantastic. 350 just looks great and I like the simplicity of the Swiss livery as well. So hopefully see a couple of those down at Toulouse in the upcoming months. Right, here's an interesting video that we're going to play out about. We've mentioned it quite a few times on the show. We've seen it quite a few times on the show, and but want to sort of like have a little bit more of an explanation about it purely because I'm sitting here now and I'm not standing behind the camera filming it. We do talk about it, but I just wanted to sort of like play a couple of things here, so it might be a bit more understandable from the folks who are watching, because obviously there's so much going on during the show. This is about aircraft undercarriage. Primarily, it has to be said, the Dreamliner undercarriage. This is, I think, something related to the electrical braking system that they use on the Dreamliner. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it is. And the reason I think it is because it's mainly always a 787. We do from time to time. I saw an A320 the other week. A330s, it's a lot less common, but it does happen on the A330s. Remember seeing the jumbo jet going out at Heathrow one time, obviously long taxi. Or the problem with this, it appears, is most of the times it's a wheel brake that has not worked when the commander's gone to go gear up. The system has an auto brake system, which basically brakes the wheels and stops them from rotating. Because obviously, when the gear goes up, the last thing you want is the wheel rotating that way, because it puts a lot of load on the bearings and all the components on the wheel itself. So it appears that it's something to do with either one or maybe more brakes that have not stopped. So what they have to do is they have to leave the undercarriage down during normal airflow, not so much to cool the brake, but just to allow the wheel to stop spinning, because I think they rotate around about 2,000 RPM. It's a big, heavy unit, so it's not like it's a bicycle wheel. It's just going to keep going. Around about 2 minutes, they feel, I believe, that it may be the rotational speed is slow enough that it won't compromise. Maybe it hasn't completely stopped, but it's slow enough that it won't compromise the bearings and the components, the wheel components, the hub, and all that sort of stuff. But we're just going to have a quick look. We're going to play this video out, which is one that I shot, I think, a couple of weeks ago, or last week, or yesterday. at Heathrow with BA Dreamliner doing exactly this, and got a bit of my commentary on there, kind of repeating what we're talking about here. But let's play this one out quickly, GP. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam the Great. Yeah, it's a good point. The one thing that the new Air India livery is missing is the scheme around the windows. I'd like to
Ignore all that.
because it sort of like looks a little bit like it looks like it's missing, doesn't it? Is that gear going to go up? No, that gear's not going up. Gear door's going to close. That aircraft has got a failed brake on it. Highly likely that it's a failed brake.
All right, mate, don't be
now
so
the pilots
dramatic.
will be notified of that, because obviously when they go for gear up, the lever goes up.
Ooh.
Normally they get 3 greens or notification that everything's closed. But no, in this case, in this instance, the doors will automatically close and the gear remains down. And the reason for that is 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say, that's a brake that's failed. So
Okay,
one of the
GP.
brakes has not stopped the wheel from spinning.
Yeah, all right, all right. That's what I just said. Speaking very poshly there, aren't I? Oh, look at that lovely 787. But anyway, we're going to show you a quick video now. This is not really related to the brake issue, but something that is quite interesting, because when we've seen the 777 undercarriage, which is okay.
No.
Okay, when we've seen the 777 undercarriage, you can see. Oh, is that me? Tommy showing there. Yeah, when we've seen the 777, you can see all the hydraulic lines, the big actuator at the back as well, and all the components around it. Look at the 787 undercarriage, and it's very, very clean because it's all electrical feed. So they can run the electrical lines down the undercarriage arm itself, and then out through and into very cleanly into the connectors inside the pistons, which push the piston or the actuator onto the disc, which the pads, which then squeezes the whole thing together and causes the braking. So just going to show this quickly. This 787 gear swing. He calls it "Why so slow," but it doesn't matter because it's cool. Anyway, here we go. Actually, we could do it at double speed at 1.25, couldn't we, Julie? There's your actuators. Look at that. I think this is a slow test because there may have been an issue with it. See the red light, which basically warns personnel on the ground that this is a live aircraft. Look at the way they've jacked this thing up, folks. Look at the jacks they use on the right hand side there, see? So this is completely reliant on those jacks. Use about 4 of them around the aircraft. 2 there, 1 up the front for the undercarriage at the front, of course. And coming back down. It is gravity, but there are suction. Look at that. I watch for I think the actuator will push the gear down. Here we go. There it is. Yeah, man. You are ready to land. How cool is that, man? Okay, GP. Take that one off. So we've got some pictures to show you quickly. Let me just have a look at these pictures, GP. See which one we're going to run first. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. No, not that one. Not that one. Okay. No. That one in the bottom there. That one there. That one there. Okay. Watch this, folks. Have a look at this. So this is the electrical system that Boeing have developed for. Well, I don't know whether it was Boeing or whether it was maybe Safran or somebody like that. But as you can see, very, very clean. In terms of the connectors there. They're the electrical connectors for the actuators and the pumps, which basically push. So in other words, normally on a conventional braking system, they will be hydraulically powered. So a lot heavier, a lot bulkier, a lot more maintenance. Well, I say a lot more maintenance, electrical systems fail, don't they? And that's why we see what's happening here is maybe this box here at the top there has failed in some way, and that braking system is not working properly. You can see the plates there in the background, folks. That the sort of you can see that there are discs and then there are the plates between them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 or 5 discs in that whole assembly there, which, as you can appreciate, when you've got 4 of those wheels braking, it's a tremendous amount of power that's generated by this braking system. 4 on each, 5 or 6 disc brakes on each wheel. So you've got the power of 20 braking disc systems on each side of the aircraft. Very, very powerful indeed. Here's another close-up picture of the Here's a close-up picture of the electrical system. Yeah, there. I see. I need to be doing these, don't I? Because I know what I'm. So that's the. There you go. That's a closer image of how cool that electrical feed system. And those are very easily removed. They're made that way. I mean, I think they're literally hand tightened. They're not torqued, because I don't think there is a tool that torques them, because the connector itself is tight enough. And of course, you can see it's wired off down there as well, which is a safety feature, which shows that if you remove those pins, you have to remove the wire. So if that wire isn't there, then there's a problem. You need to inspect that. But that fitting there with the blue line around it is almost hand tight. From memory, from doing stuff like that, because this is an electrical feed. It doesn't need to be torqued down like a hydraulic line. So it's a very simple process of inspection and replacement. As you can see, a couple of Allen bolts up there, and you'll have that line out in no time. If it is that, or if it's the actuator, you can see the actuator that it attaches to. That again it looks like a pretty simple swap out as well. Another image, Jilly, which is that one, bottom left, I think. Yeah, that one there. And so you've got a side-on shot of the actuator. Now there you can see that's the side-on. See the pump pushes the disc onto the pad onto the disc. There's the wear rod you can see there, folks. I think that is actually the disc itself. But you can see the wear rod at the top there, folks, which is a visual indicator for the pilot when he's doing his walk or her walk around, that they can see that pin. If it's all the way in, all the way into the right, and that pin is very short on the left-hand side, then they know that they've got a braking system that's wearing down. What other pictures have we got there, Julie? I think we've got an example of the 777 undercarriage, which is the one in the factory, which is pretty cool. I like this. Look at this. Imagine going to work and coming in there looking at that. I think, based on how new that image is, okay, from Airline Reporter, based on the fact that there's personnel standing around and all that kind of stuff, I think that is a 777X undercarriage system. And isn't it enormous, folks? And look at the you can see the braking system there and how beefy it is. The actuator. What's that? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it an absolute work of art? No. Why? What's? I'm not ignoring anyone's comments. What's going on there? APU believes it's able to spin up the main engines. So a lot of people, Birdman coming in here, and I'm not ignoring any comments, by the way, folks. I'm obviously busy doing this, so don't think that I never ignore anyone's comments, ladies and gents. You should know better than that. Nobody ignores anybody's comments, and of course I'm having to spin all the way down to the bottom of the comments here because I'm obviously talking and looking at pictures, so bear with me. So as you can see there, I think that is a 777X undercarriage. Karina saying can't wait to see it. So the that's what you call shock absorbers, Bootle lad saying. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think, hold on a minute, wait a minute, we've got one more here. Let me just see which one this is. There's another video, isn't there? Oh no, we've got that one. Hold on a minute. I've done that one. And we've got the how things work. We've done all of that. So hold on a minute. What was that? Oh, yeah. No, that's, let me just see. Oh, yeah, and it was just somebody discussing. It was actually a comment from like 2015 where somebody's mentioning on a another thread somewhere that the and none of them mentioned about. They said that it. They said it was another thing that we need to consider as well, which is also an option as to what it might be, is that inside the housing, inside the undercarriage housing, there are sensors which sense any overheating or any hot, anything burning or anything like that. So sometimes they fail as well. So the undercarriage will stay extended until such time as they're happy that the sensors have found that it's cool enough with the airflow, obviously, to let the gear retract. So there's a number of different reasons around it, but generally we believe that it's something to do with the electrical braking system on the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Okay, so here we go. Next thing, interesting. We've talked about this before, folks, and we are just about to put it to rest. We have talked, lots of people come on just randomly and say, oh, wow, that's amazing, those GE engines. You can fit a 737 inside a GE engine. Well, I'm going to tell you now, folks, you cannot fit a 737 in a GE 90 engine. Just to give you, that's an image that's online from 16right.com, aviation images by Graham Hutchinson. Obviously that's of the Dreamliner, I'd imagine, or if he's made it or whatever he's done with it, but that is not true, folks. Just to give you an example, that the outer diameter, we're not talking about the fan casing, we're not talking about the inner diameter, we're talking about the outer diameter of the GE 90 300ER is 3.429 meters, whereas the fuselage width of the 737 is 3.76 meters. So not very much, but it will not fit, is the way I see it. Because, if the outer diameter is 3.429, then the inner diameter can only be I'd imagine it's about that thick, isn't it? The cowl itself is a big, thick component. Even up at the fan blade point, at the widest point, the deepest point of an engine is where the fan casing is. And that area there, I believe that the cowl system itself is around about that thick, possibly. And so it's obviously going to add even more onto it. So it won't fit, folks. There's another example there. GE9X, I don't know. You might be able to, if you get a big mallet behind it, you might be able to get it in there. Certainly get the front end of it in there. There's no doubt about that. But you can't fit the whole fuselage in it. It can almost fit a 737. But I would have said that with the depth of the outer diameter is 3.429. So I'd say you're probably talking about 300 mil, maybe. So it's only 3.129. Fuselage width is 3.76. Cabin width is 3.53. So between the outer skin and the inside of the cabin, it's about that much, about 200 mil, and that's in a 737. But it's the outer diameter and the inner diameter that we're really talking about. But just by giving you those outer diameter numbers, it definitely poo-poos the whole idea, I'm afraid. G90 would have an A220 fit by a few inches. Grace Rachel Lofthouse saying, there we go. Let's change it then. Let's say it's not a 737. What are the numbers on that then, Rachel? A220, obviously a very narrow body jet, and we've got examples of it here. And most definitely, I would have thought also the Embraer E190 jet would definitely fit in it. But, people have said, they continue to say that it's a 737 and they're going to stick with that, I'm guessing. Not going to show my drawings, Stephen Billings. Okay. What was that? What was that, Julie?
I can't do anything. I'm getting errors.
A220 is 3.5 meters in diameter. A220 wow. Well, the GE90 115 is 3.429 in diameter, so it'd be a proper squeeze, wouldn't it? Okay, we're going to go to channel of the week, folks. A new feature. Are you ready for this, GP?
Yeah, I guess.
When you're ready to load it up, anyway. So we're going to go channel of the week, folks. We're going to pick one out every week, and lots of people will know this one. What these guys have done at Melbourne is absolutely fantastic. They love their jets, ladies and gents, because this is the kind of stuff that we all absolutely love. This is a sequence of spool ups from Melbourne. And these are the guys at HD Melbourne Aviation. Give them a look, give them a sub. They got 492,000 subs. And lots of people are getting involved. They've got a great community. HD Melbourne Aviation. Crank it up, Jelly. Yeah. That's crazy. Those XWBs can scream, man. Powerful, powerful engines. 200,000 pounds. If you want it. Here comes the next one. Oh. Oh. Bring up the N1s. Yeah. People loving it, mate. Oh, look at this. Oh. God, Sam. Oh, goosebumps, man. Goosebumps. Can you hear it, Jimmy? No. All right. Oh. What's this, 330? CF6 Pratt & Whitney. Oh. Oh, they're Pratts, aren't they? Full tilt, man. Wow. Oh, here's the Trents. 700s. Big long spool. Oh. Powerhouse, man. Like those Seapoos. Oh, here we go. We're going on that, Jilly.
I know.
Yeah. The Pacific Arena. Look at to see them probably down in Singapore, aren't we? Cebu Pacific. Oh, go on then. What are these? CFs? Oh! Oh. CFM, not CFM, CF6. Vulcan next, but all that. TCC. Oh, here we go. They can sing these things, mate. Gen X. Oh! Aviation in 4K. CFM is the smaller engine on the CFM 56. It's the General Electric CF6. I think that's a Gen X. Either of that or it's a Trent 1000. Another set of Trents. Yeah, Lloyd Bell, CFMs, 320s and 737s. Wow, look at the engines glowing, man. Okay, GP, cut that. Wow, did you see the those Trent glow, the engines glowing, man? Did anyone see that? That's insane, man. Wow. So there you go, folks. Give them a sub. Most definitely worth it. Good bunch of guys, like the Aussies. So we are at the end of all our chit chat and blah blah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get onto a little bit of aircraft recognition. Now a lot of people already know their aircraft. They're very good at it. We did a little bit of it during COVID as well. But in terms of, we'll keep it simple for now. We kind of know our way around what we're looking at over there in terms of the aircraft around the airfield. Let's just zoom out a little bit because I'm going to be bringing a few aircraft in here to, if you would bear with me one moment. We're doing single aisle, folks, this week. Okay. You're right, Jelly. So we'll take the 321, out of picture. First things we're going to do is we're going to do the 737. No Max stuff, by the way, folks, please. We're going to do the 737. Let's just move that Delta jet back a little bit. Go on, son. There you go. So we've got the 737 and the A320. Big rivals all the way through. This is an 800, I think, with Southwest Airlines and Austrian Airlines. Nice old retro livery, but it depends on which angle that you look at these aircraft at. But in terms of noticeable stuff whilst they're on the ground, one of the big noticeable things that you can see there, folks, is the tail. As you can see, the 737 has a sort of like a slant at the bottom of it. You can see that big wedge at the bottom of it, whereas the Airbus has a more conventional sort of like smooth look about it. Back end of the 737, the older 737s, the new Max obviously has a very different back end on it. But the Airbus APU, the back end exhaust outlet, extends a little bit further. In terms of winglets and stuff like that, a little bit difficult to sometimes identify, depending on whether you've got a Neo jet or a CEO. This is a CEO with the old fence style winglet on it. Of course, that is the original.
Shall I put? Do you want it to go bigger?
Yeah, if you could, yeah. That's the original split scimitar. Sorry, the original split scimitar winglet, which is quite interesting because you can see the little tail off at the top and the bottom on the winglet there. That's actually on the new Max. It's squared off. What reason that was for, I'm not absolutely sure. Engines on the 737 and the A320 Neo, the A320. These two examples are the same. That's a CFM engine, CFM 56 engine on the Southwest jet. It looks like a CFM engine also on the Austrian jet. Nose-wise, up front, as you can see, the 737 has quite a pointy nose to it. And has been the same as that since literally the day it was born, the 737. All variants have the same front end on it. All A321s, 319s, 318s all have the same front end on their aircraft as well. But as you can see, it has a bit of a pointy nose, the Boeing. In terms of the undercarriage, the Airbus obviously has a much higher undercarriage, as you can see there. I can't really fit that down on the ground there, can I? But anyway, it's noticeable. Now, the big thing is when we see it on our show and we see them on approach, that's when sometimes you have to just literally get to watch the show constantly, and you will very quickly start to identify a 737 from an A320. There are identifying characteristics, but something that is difficult to sort of like explain, because it is something that you because you film so many, because you watch so many of them. There's a sort of like, it seems to me, a bit of a faster approach speed and a bit more of a nosy attitude for a 737. Looks, when you glance at it, you can see it immediately, whatever variant it is. It's very noticeable compared to an A320. I think a lot of it is down to the undercarriage being so short on a 737. When it's coming in, it's sort of like, it's like a drag racer, whereas the A320 or the Airbus has a longer extended undercarriage on it. So that's one way that maybe is something that you pick up on. The nose as well, where you can see the 737 nose coming towards you. It's pointy. You can clearly see that. But again, like I say, it's something that you can just pick up over time when you watch the videos and see their identifying features. But a great couple of examples there again. ARD, Aviation Retail Direct. These are 1/200th scale, by the way, folks. All the other jets that you see on the apron there are all 1/400th scale. You can get 500th scale. You can get bigger as well. But if you're going to buy models and you're going to buy only a couple of them, I would always opt for the 1/200th scale. So we'll take the A320 and the 737 out. Are we all happy with that? You've seen, we have seen a lot of action, plus the single versus double blink of the strobes. Good point, Stuart. Yeah, Airbus versus Boeing. Airbus is bap, whereas the Boeing is just like that. But obviously something that you generally only see in dark conditions. So you can pick up a Boeing versus an Airbus in the dark all day long when they're coming in towards you. Although I think the Airbus is also it's sort of like a multi-flick. It's like a bidididum, something like that. In Florida. Okay. That Concorde next week, Jordan Charlie. No, not that one. You're not, mate. That's my Air France one. But we're going to have to. Jordan, he went in there to buy it, and I'm going to have to honour it and take it back. But you only wanted the BA one, did you want, Jordan? Because this Corgi box has actually got the BOAC one in there as well, which I can show you, so you can make a decision on which one you want. Okay. Where's that? Oh, it's down here. A lot of space inside this spaceship, isn't there? So this one's from Corgi, and it comes with 2 Concords in it. The guys just very thankfully they went a hunting. I couldn't find one of these online anywhere. I ended up getting the Air France one, he's probably going to want the BOAC one. They didn't do a BOAC one though, did they? But it is pretty smart, I've got to say. Let's just put that there and give him a little look at it so he can appreciate it. Isn't it beautiful though, man? Wow, that is proper sleek, isn't it? Say about that. So you've either got that one, Jordan, or you got that one. One of the two. You make your choices, because I'm keeping one of them for the museum. Hopefully he's going to go for BA, and then I'll throw the BOAC up on top of the roof. Okay, GP, look out for that. So there you go. There's your aircraft for Jordan Charlie. That is his answer. There's your A320 single aisle and 737 single aisle. The first of them, and of course these aircraft are capable of long range. Different fuel tank configurations, different variants of the aircraft as well. But then you have also got the short haul and domestic aircraft, which are kind of these two, which are kind of up against each other. I think that's a 195, looking at how long that is.
Jordan would like the BA.
Oh, Jordan wants the BA. Okay, so Concorde's going up on top of the blah blah.
It might go missing in action before then.
Let me just, what was I getting there? Oh yeah, the E195. Let me just have a quick look, because that's a Gemini Jets one, isn't it? Gave it 2 of them by mistake. Oh, hold on a minute. Yes, an E195. It's a little bit, because that one there is the Airbus A220-300. So yeah, that's the longest one that they do. But it's a little bit wider body on the A220. But what we're really, to be perfectly honest with you, in terms of identification, you can first of all, the winglets on the A220. Of course, this is the Airbus A220. Previously, the Bombardier CS100 and 300 variants. But the Airbus are it kind of like is a longer range jet. Let's just say it has a longer range on it, but that's not really what these aircraft are about. It's more about the high capacity regional and short haul routes. So city to city stuff. The Embraer has got a really decent range on it. Royal Brunei have just taken delivery of one which looks really smart. I think it's a new livery as well. I might be right in saying that. Of course, the A220 and the A220 comes with the Pratt & Whitney engine, as does the Embraer come with the Pratt & Whitney engine. So both same engines. You can see they've, interestingly enough, on the Embraer, due to the wing design or the pylon design or whatever it is, they've got vortex generators on the engines just below the pylons. You can see there, which is just a little thing that you might want to pick up on. You see the fins that are coming out the top of the engine. They probably got them on the A220. I think they actually have, but they're on the other side or on the inside. But as you can see, back end of the Embraer has that big, long, tubular, very Dreamliner-esque cone to it, whereas the A220, as I've mentioned before, has a very A380-esque APU output as well. So, one of the ways to identify those two aircraft is how sleek and skinny the Embraer is compared to the A220, which is a lot sort of like beefier, wider. Whereas I'll be honest with you, and I was saying to Joe today, hello Joe, that flying on that Embraer is like flying on a private jet, especially with the seating configuration in there. It's a beautiful wing. I'd say of the two jets, in terms of the wing, it's got a raked wingtip. It doesn't have a shark clit on it. It's got a raked wingtip, very Boeing-esque on the Embraer, whereas the A220 has got more a fence wingtip, which is a little bit of a shame. It would be great to see it with a retrofit shark clit style, and that'll put it right into being a mini 350, because as you can see, the front end of it has got a very 350 look about it, hasn't it? In front of the flight, in terms of the flight deck. In terms of height off the ground, I think they're more or less the same, both aircraft, and different seating capacity, different ranges. But in terms of their looks, the Embraer is very easy to spot when it's coming towards you. The A220, not so easy. I've got to be honest with you. It depends on the day itself in terms of the conditions, whether you can clearly see the wingtips. But as they come closer, they're obviously a lot more easier to identify. But from a distance, of course, we're all lazy. We look up on flight radar anyway. But for me, when I'm filming, sometimes it can catch me out. I might think it's a 320 Neo. But we're all learning, and those are some of the pointers to look out for on the narrow-bodied, medium to long and short to medium haul jets on the single aisle side. Is that good? Is everybody into that? Have they? I think we've all done that. Yeah. Let's just have a little read of some comments here. Dinner's on Lenny next time. Aaron Thoms, how much A220 is just a mini A350? Yes, it is indeed. Big engines give it away. I think the 220 Russ CT. I still can't tell the difference between 175 and a 190. Steph, don't worry about that. It's just literally length. A220 has a nickname of Bombus. Okay, interesting. Bombus, Jonathan Beale. I didn't know that. It's Bombus. Is that something to do with Bombardier Airbus? Bombus, yeah, I can understand that. Let's see, be more spacing between the windows of the Embraer. Yes, definitely. It's just a longer aeroplane, more spaced out cabin, I have to say. And like I said, you feel like you're on a private jet. The A220, you feel more like you're on an A320, to be perfectly honest with you. Great seating on board the A220. A lot of them like nice new car smell. But the E195 is a great aeroplane to fly on. Lots of operators going after them now as a great option. I think it's really proved itself. Embraer did a continue to take their Profit Hunter special livery jet all around the world. Have we got a copy of that, Jilly? Profit Hunter A220. The E190 Profit Hunter picture, something like that we can show, which is pretty cool, with the shark teeth and all that. I've got a picture of me in front of it, haven't I? Let me just have a look here. Is it going to be all the way up here?
Actually, I might be able to find that.
How many pictures, mate? Flipping heck. Really? I'm duplicating me bleeding files, have I? Okay. Wow. Okay, no, but it's down here somewhere. There's a picture of me. Oh.
Why has Chachi come up when I've touched?
Oh, Chachi. No. Okay. Oh, you know where it is?
Hold on.
I think it's in here, Cool Pics or something like that. Big Jet. No, that's Elvis. Cool Pics. No. There's me dad. Retro, no. General. 1-800 General now. No. No,
Oh, well, that's not you in front of it though.
no, but that one there, GP. That one, this one here.
Hold on.
Oh, there it
hold
is.
on.
Hey, well, you found that on Google, or is that?
Photo.
Oh, it's on your photo album. Check this out. It's when my beard wasn't so grey.
There you go.
This is the Profit Hunter, folks, and they've operated this aircraft all around the world. That was at Farnborough, wasn't it? You're showing that thing on the left there, Julie, yeah?
It don't matter.
Okay, that's cool. But there you go. So they got the Shark. They've got the, what other one have they got? That the power board, isn't it? Let's just have a quick power board. Diving or something. E2 Profit Hunter images. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. There's if you just put E2 Profit Hunter, there's the latest one, isn't it? Yeah, look at all the different ones. Look at the bird one there. Look at the bird one.
That one.
Yeah. CNB, easy for you to say. CNBC. Yeah. Look at this. All the different marketing and promotional liveries that they've done. Are you going to do that one, Julie? Or
which one?
The bird one. The beak. Top right. There. This is gnarly. This is actually.
Don't cry.
Or hold on a minute. Did they actually do this? Yeah, they did. But yeah. That's kind of the one that you really want, GP. This one here, isn't it?
Okay.
It's a little bit further down. Anyway, and we're hoping to do some more stuff with the folks at Embraer. Of course, had I heard today he called me up and said that apparently they want to send me something. I don't know what it is. Hope it doesn't go TikTok when I open it. Put it that way. But yeah, and we'll open that live on a show. He's gonna let me know what it is before I open it, but so that I can be fully briefed up on it. But we will, of course, look forward to doing that, and I will do that in front of you lot. Window heat might melt that wrap. Yeah, BBLLB. Yeah, I think that's an artist's impression, isn't it? There was another one. Did you get the other one, Julie? The real one, you know, that one with it.
I did.
Glasses are steaming up.
Big.
And of course, we did live airside at London City with the
lion.
No, it wasn't. It was this one here, wasn't it? Oh, it is a lion, isn't it?
A lion.
Yeah. But it was. There was another name for it, wasn't there? Let's just have a look at this. Yeah, they've done really well, man. But I think they've worked hard and deserve the level of orders that they're getting at the moment. Obviously, they're still, you know, you're kind of like, oh yeah, definitely that one there, GP. This is the one that we filmed at London City doing taxi and parking trials, which was pretty cool. How cool is that, man? I mean, what a they've gone a long way to promote that jet. A bit like what Airbus are doing with the 350 as well, of course. I think that's a great thing that Embraer have done there. It's a great aircraft on board as well. Look at those beautiful Pratt & Whitney engines, man. But awesome livery, HGC. This show is like a well-oiled machine. Steve Stibbons is after some props, isn't he? Lenny Pasiglia, Cool Brothers. I remember that. Andy P, Emma Wright, beautiful, stunning livery. Paul Skilling. Yeah. It's a fantastic livery, and they've done other ones as well. Just Google E2 Profit Hunter. and you will see all the different liveries that they have done. And that, I think, is it. What's our TRT, GP?
2 hours and 9 minutes.
Oh, well, we're bang on, aren't we? That's more or less it. So thanks, folks, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll obviously meet again next week. I will be back on Sunday. And one last thing I want to play out to you folks. If you are in any way, if you like your music like me, you'll appreciate this. But also,
give me a chance to get it loaded.
Okay. Well, get it ready then. I thought that might be the cue, but with me talking about it, can I just say a big thank you to because I spoke to these guys at Public Service Broadcasting. They're real techies, you know, with their music, very electronic, but also brilliantly, I have to say, using audio from show reels and stuff like that from back in the day. How much of it is legit, I'm not sure, because this gentleman's speaking very, very like that, you know, and I'm absolutely sure it's something to do with the this is Spitfire, by the way, folks. This is called Spitfire by Public Service Broadcasting, and I spoke to Jay Wild Goose Esquire. He is on Twitter or whatever it is, but he's the guitarist, and they're amazing live, this band as well, folks, if you ever get the chance to see them. But they've also done one with Apollo as well, about the Apollo landings. I spoke to Jay about doing one on the 747, but he's just too busy, folks, which is a great shame, because you'll appreciate when you hear what they've done with this and see as well the video that they've put to it. You will really love this and appreciate it. If you are a historian in any way, if you're you know, whether you're American or whether you're wherever you're from, everyone knows the Spitfire, and what a beautiful aeroplane she was. And this video, this track, this song, and the video that accompanies it is absolutely perfect. These guys work on their stuff for a long, long time. They don't just chuck it out willy-nilly. You won't find that they've got a tremendous amount of music, just purely that you would have heard on the radio anyway. But just because they're so very, very fundamentally specific about how they produce their records, and I absolutely love it, every single bit of it. Are you ready to play it out, GP? Ladies and gents, thank you so much. We're going full screen with that. I will say my goodbyes. Thank you. Look after yourselves. This is Spitfire by Public Service Broadcasting. See you later. Bye-bye.
The birds fly a lot better than we do. See how they wheel and bank and fly? Perfect. And all in one. Wings, body, tail, all in one. Someday, I'm going to build a plane that will be just like a bird. It isn't exactly a bird I'm creating, is it? At least it's a curious sort of bird. A bird that breathes fire and spits out death and destruction. A Spitfire bird. A Spitfire bird. Faster, always faster.
What a strange looking machine.
Can't see us fit in the air without getting a kick out of it.
Why, it is like a bird.
A Spitfire bird. A Spitfire bird. It's tiring, always stretching up for something that's just out of reach. But I'll get it. After all, what I want isn't as easy as all that. I've got to do 400 miles an hour, turn on a sixpence, climb 10,000 feet in a few minutes, dive at 500 without the wings coming off, carry 8 machine guns.
Hello, Hunter Leader. Bandits approaching Beachy from southeast, Angels 1-5, over. Bandits are now about 3 to 4 miles south of Beachy. You should see them any minute, they're down south of you. Hello, Hunter Leader. Flammer control calling. Can you see them? Can you see them?
A Spitfire bird. A Spitfire bird.